Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jayden Ginsweider. Joining me here at Sound Peak Audio and Design in Topeka, Kansas is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
I'm all right, pretty good.
We'll be bringing Jolka on a little bit later to talk Bad Blood since we missed last week. But first, Shane, you had the collar and elbow question this week.
I do.
You gave me the idea, so go ahead and explain what we got.
I've been thinking. I try to think of some every once in a while. Got a good one here. So WWE announced that they're going to try to plan a big show, a pay-per-view level show in Japan next year, and that made me think of when we did the wrestling summit back like a few months ago. And my thing is, what would your matches be for a new wrestling classic?
Wrestling Summit. So yeah, we both booked our 12. We gave ourselves a 12-match maximum for our cards, and we booked like real cards. So we ordered them how we would book them. I booked winners. I don't know if you chose your winners.
I did too.
But first, what do you have any ideas for what you would want the big show in Japan to be next year?
I think I would like it just to be its own thing. More than like have maybe like a
Bash in Berlin, Clash of the Castle type.
Yeah, maybe like Money in the Bank. Something you don't really get in Japanese wrestling. So like maybe Money in the Bank, maybe Extreme Rules.
My crackpot idea is War Games Japan, and you do a Team WWE versus Team Pro Wrestling Noah War Games match. So 5 of the top people from Japan, from WWE versus 5 of the top people in Noah.
Imagine that Nakajima deal didn't go through.
Yeah, I don't know. That was my like kind of way out there idea. I imagine it'll be something more like the Clash of the Castle spot.
But
this time it'll
Kaiser
be
Humor and Keno in there.
Yeah, but this time it'll be like AJ Styles getting screwed out of a championship instead of Drew McIntyre. All right, so I think the way we should do this is we should just go back and forth, start with our openers. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I went with Yuji Nagata's contractually obligated 6-man opener. We have Nagata and Great Bash heel, so Hanma and the other guy with the chains, Makabe.
Makabe, yep.
They're going to take on Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and the other one.
Rey Mysterio? Or?
No, from the other.
Joaquin Wilde.
Yeah.
Okay. So my opener also involves the LWO. I have Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Bushi and Titan from LIJ.
That's such a better match than mine. That's such a better match than
mine.
And
I have Rey and Dragon Lee going over.
When I think of like big match, but I think of Tokyo Dome, I think the opener is always Yuji Nagata. And like some either old dudes or young dudes. So
I got that. What's your second match?
So originally I wanted to try to do 6 All Japan, 6 New Japan, but that wasn't happening. So I went with a United Japan Tag Team Showcase instead. This includes the All Japan Tag Champs.
Okay.
So I have Shingo and Bushi from LIJ.
Okay.
Creeds. From Noah, I have All Rebellion, which is Kiyomiya and Keno. I have the Saito brothers from All Japan, so Ren and Jun. Saito, Funori Abe, and Tino Imura from Astronauts from Big Japan. And then Jason Lee and Shun Skywalker from Dragon Gate for Z-Brats.
Okay, idea. What if that was a gauntlet match?
Ooh, like a turmoil type stuff.
Well, just like a gauntlet. 2 teams start, one of them wins, and then the next team comes out.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know, just an idea. For my second match, this is my certified sirloin beefsteak match of the night. Jeff Cobb defending the New Japan TV title against Braun Breaker.
Wait, we didn't say who wins.
Oh, who wins your matches?
So I have Nagato going over, and I have Kiyomiya and Keno going over. So
okay.
Those are the top 2 stars in Noah.
Yeah, I think I said that Rey and Dragon Lee win my first match.
Okay.
Jeff Cobb retains the TV title. I thought about having them go to a 15-minute draw, but I think Jeff Cobb beats Braun Breaker in my TV title match. Also, we know that KOPW happened like this morning, but I haven't watched it yet, so we're just ignoring most of what happens on the show.
We've been this before too, so
yeah. And we made this before, but yeah, that's mine. Jeff Cobb and Braun Breaker for the TV title. What's your third match?
So I went with the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and I thought I wanted to have them face some team in Bullet Club, and I didn't want it to be House of Torture, even though in the long run it kind of makes the most sense because they kicked them out. I went with Gabe Kidd and Jake Lee.
Okay.
So, that's a good 2 annoying guys against 2 annoying guys in WWE for the tag team titles. I like that. And girls and women.
Okay. And then my third match is a similar idea to your second match. It's a 4-way tag match for the IWGP tag titles and the Strong Openweight tag titles. So we have TMDK, Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, defending against DIY, Bishamon, and the Creeds.
So that's a great match.
I
like that match. I'd watch that.
Any match that can get Haruki Goto and Julius Creed in the same ring.
Oh, yeah.
Something I'd love to see. And I have Team DK just going over and retaining their titles. Okay. So what's match 4?
My next match is not for the speed title because that'd be dumb. But it's Andrade against LSB because I want that lucha type stuff in my show.
Okay. My fourth match also... Oh, who wins that match?
LSB does.
Okay, my match also involves LSB, but he loses to Kevin Owens in a no disqualification match.
That's better than mine. So I like that one too.
Yep.
Because LSB would get crazy. Maybe we'll see some skewers in the head of Kevin Owens.
Owens will jump off of something stupid in the Nippon Budokan.
He'll run over to the Budokan in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. This would probably be a Tokyo Dome show. I just thought it'd be funnier to put that match in the Budokan.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be
funny if that was an empty arena match in the Budokan, like an empty arena no DQ
that would
match.
work. I like that.
Yeah.
Because that would be like all the chairs they'd fight in.
Yeah. All right. What's match number 5?
I got a IWGP Women's title match. We have Mayu Iwatani, the champion, Mina Shirakawa, the challenger, and Julia from NXT, who wins.
Julia wins the women's title.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. My fifth is a 4-way for the Never Openweight Championship. Shingo Takagi versus Sami Zayn versus Shota Umino versus Seth Rollins.
2 wins.
Shota Umino wins.
Oh.
So there's a title change on my card, too.
Okay.
It stays within New Japan, but Shota Umino wins the Never Openweight title.
See, in this world where WWE and New Japan work together, there's no chance that there's no way Julia's going to Japan at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be crazy to see this a Marigold person go over to a Southern person, too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so for me, I thought this was really fun because obviously getting Umino and Rollins in the ring with their Moxley connection is really fun.
That'd be so fun.
And then also just the crowd would go crazy for Sami Zayn, and him and Shingo and Shota would do some crazy stuff. And like, I can already kind of picture the moment when like Shota and Shingo sort of team up and Sami and Seth sort of team up, kind of thing. So that was my kind of big 4-way. What's your match 6 here?
Match 6. I only have one matches from now on. So I have for the WWE Championship in the middle of the card, just before intermission.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes defends against Yota Tsuji, and Cody wins.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I like that. My match 6, I was thinking the big match to cap off for intermission. A 3-way. I also did 3-way for the IWGP Women's title, but both my challengers are from WWE. Mayu Iwatani versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch. I know Becky Lynch isn't technically under contract right now, but she's not under contract anywhere else, so I thought I could use her here.
That's fair.
I was trying to decide between Asuka and Becky Lynch. I think if I was doing singles matches, Asuka Mayu would be the better match, but Becky Mayu would be the bigger pop. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I went with, and of course Mayu just retains the title in my version. Most of the only title change in my version is Shota winning the Never Openweight title.
That's fair.
So now we're back from intermission. What's starting the second half of your show?
With the biggest bang you can, you'll say the junior heavyweights, Ilya Dragunov, Hiromu Takahashi. And Ilya would win this one.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Ilya Dragunov would throw himself right through those New Japan barricades. Like, oh my God. He would nearly kill himself.
Probably would.
My next match is a 4-on-4. It is Bullet Club War Dogs versus Bullet Club alumni.
Ooh, okay.
So representing the War Dogs, we have Jake Lee, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Drilla Maloney versus AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and the Good Brothers.
I think I'd put Gabe Kidd over Jake Lee.
Okay.
But I like that.
I'm just personally not a fan of Gabe Kidd.
I know you're not. But I think that Jake Lee being from Noah, it's different than the guy. But
I at least get a little bit of a Noah influence.
Yeah, I can see it.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I just like Jake Lee more.
His year in Noah where he won the title and then dipped.
You could put Gabe Kidd in there instead. I just thought the grander idea of Bullet Club War Dogs versus Bullet Club alumni.
The greater idea, it works.
Yeah. So yeah, what is your match 8?
Shinsuke Nakamura makes his return to the Tokyo Dome
Mm-hmm.
in a match against Hiroki Goto, and Shinsuke picks up the win.
Okay. My 8 is the custody of the GTS match. CM Punk versus Kenta. And I have Punk going over.
That might be the one match where Kenta actually gives a damn. So
Yeah.
He could pull out the Kenta we saw in Noah shows. So
Mhm. All right, what's match number 9 for you?
we have another title match. It's gonna be the World Heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther against Sonata, and Gunther retains.
Okay. I could not find a spot for any of the Just 5 guys on my show, unfortunately.
I thought Sonata makes sense. He could kind of wrestle that style of Gunther.
Yeah. My 9, this is the start of the world title slate for me. And it's also Gunther, but he's defending against Zack Sabre Jr. in my world here. So for the heavyweight title. And, of course, Gunther goes over. What's match number 10 for you?
This is gonna be the big legend match before we get to the big hoss fight match. Tanahashi Cena, and I have Cena winning.
Okay. A lot of parallels in those careers.
Yeah.
They both started around the same time. I think Tanahashi might have started like a year or two earlier. Both kind of the faces of their promotions through the 2000s and the 2010s. All-time legends. And just big faces in wrestling.
Both, I guess you could say, kind of saved it because Cena after Benoit and then Tanahashi after Inoki losing his mind and going into MMA stuff.
Yeah. My 10 is for the IWGP World title, and it is Tetsuya Naito versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so that's where I went. Get Shinsuke challenging for the world
With
title.
my Shinsuke match, I went with Chaos against Shinsuke because,
the Chaos connection.
Chaos
I did at one point, before I went with the Bullet Club alumni, Bullet Club War Dogs, I was going to go with like some of the alumni and some of the current versus Shinsuke and some of Chaos, but I ended up mixing up my card. So I kind of had an idea like that. Match 11, semi-main, what do you got?
Braun Breaker against Ishii.
Oh, my God.
In
just like an 8-minute hoss fight.
That match between Shibata and Ishii, that was like 13 minutes with a 5-star match. They just beat the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that with Braun Breaker, and he wins.
So my 11, it's a little higher on the card than yours was, but it's Cody Rhodes versus Yota Tsuji for the WWE title. I also booked that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's my semi-main. That ends my world title slate, and then I have a special main event. What's your main event?
My main event is for the title because that's what goes on last in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Naito against a guy who is as anti promotion as he is. I went with CM Punk against Naito, and Naito would retain.
Okay. My main event is the Cena Tanahashi match. I also booked that. They both are on the cusp of retirement, and I think just seeing them together would really cap off an era in wrestling. It would feel like Rock Hogan.
Yeah.
So I went with that as the main event. I know that normally the IWGP title goes on last.
They could do the look spot, and it actually would be the best one since WrestleMania 2.
Yeah, because you'd have like all these Japanese fans that have like never gotten to see Cena in the Tokyo Dome. So that's crazy. And he's facing their guy for the last 25 years in Hiroshi Tanahashi.
It's the dream match.
Yeah.
Right now.
So yeah, that's my card. I loved I was able to get a little lucha on there. Each company, hardest omission, hardest guy to leave off the card.
For me, it was really tough. I really wanted to put ZSJ on there, but I just could not find a spot.
Okay. For me, what about WWE? Who do you got? Who was the hardest one there?
Probably Finn.
Probably Finn.
I want to put him on there, but
because the Japan
because he's a long-time Japan guy. But
for me, I wanted to put Drew McIntyre on there because he's been doing a lot of great work, and I think he deserved a big spot like that. I just couldn't find the match.
Right.
And then from New Japan, let's see who did I have the hardest time leaving off the card. I just
neither of us put Dookie on the card.
Oh, for me personally, just because of my the guys I really like, it was hard for me to leave Ishii off the card.
Right.
I just couldn't really find a spot for him. So
any dude who can just beat up somebody, yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah. All right. So you want to move on to outside the ring news?
All right.
From AEW, tell me about MXM and Rico.
So Jolka's over there. Yeah, they brought back Rico. So they announced who the third man is to fight Billy Gunn.
On Rampage, they were setting up MXM Collection versus Acclaimed for the pre-show of Wrestle Dream. And on Rampage, MXM teased a third man,
right.
NWO style.
And you think it's Chuck Palumbo?
I thought it was going to be Chuck Palumbo.
I thought it would be cool.
Or Bart Gunn.
Bart Gunn would be really crazy. But the gimmick, it was always going to be Rico, man.
That makes sense.
And they say our third man, Rico Constantino, and they cut over and he turns around and he just goes, and they ask, how do I look, Rico Constantino? And they cut over to him. He turns around and he just goes, you look so good to me. You know what?
He was almost unrecognizable. I could tell that I had
jobs.
I could tell that I'd seen that man before, but I could not.
I texted. I should have texted the group chat. You would have lost your mind, but I texted him the picture of it, and I'm like, they got him.
You might as well said Gilbert.
Yeah.
and you were like, who's that? I'm like, that's Rico. Like,
yeah.
That's Rico?
Yeah.
Like the guy who got Cena called up, Rico? Yeah, Rico.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He also got into it. He also took a Famouser from Billy. That looked pretty good.
Mm. I think it'd be funny if, as a gimmick, MXM just kept trying to bring in third men. And because like everybody in AEW is at least a trio, and they just lose every time. Like it'd just be different random wrestling people. And then
it'd be funny if they got like Rico for another match for no reason. Just say Rico, hey, we're in Vegas. It's Rico.
Jimmy Jacobs leaves AEW. Now he was on the creative team. I think he wrestled like a few Ring of Honor matches.
This is when I knew that Dancing was losing. When he announced he was gone, I'm like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Mm-hmm. That's those old Ring of Honor guys are really close.
Yeah.
Like so, if Jimmy's gone, he's gone too.
Yeah. He worked as a producer in WWE for a while.
Yeah,
didn't
he did.
Do you think he may go back there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because do y'all remember how he got fired from WWE?
I don't remember at all.
When Bullet Club showed up to Raw, did like an invasion thing outside of Raw. He went out there because they're his friends. Took a picture with them. Bucks posted it because they're friends.
Yeah.
And he got fired because of that.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I remember not too long ago. I think sometimes I put on wrestling when I'm going to sleep, just kind of watch something as I fall asleep, and I put on like a special like 3-hour Super SmackDown from like 2014, and it was Adam Rose was on that show. And Jimmy Jacobs was one of the Rosebuds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, is that Jimmy Jacobs?
Like, at that point, he's still leader of the fallen like type guy. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. In WWE news, Hornswoggle has signed a Legends deal, which means that my Hornswoggle Hall of Fame agenda starts now.
You know what?
Put Hornswoggle in the Hall of Fame.
I would like to see a Fit Finley in the double Hornswoggle first, but because of what Finley did to the women's division.
Oh yeah, Finley also definitely deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame, beyond just his wrestling.
Literally
but
being the one guy backstage who stood up for the divas,
yeah,
being stood there as a punishment and working his ass off to get him trained to actually wrestle, like,
yeah,
hats off.
Yeah, but for the lulz, I want Hornswoggle in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Fit Finley: he's the only person ever to be disqualified from a Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's stupid shit! Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
because he used the shillelagh.
That's right. Yeah.
Why'd they ban Robinson?
It had been long rumored, all but confirmed, but it is official. The Motor City Machine Guns are going to be on Friday Night SmackDown this week. They're going to WWE. I think they're setting up because they set up Los Garza to have a tag team match, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. And Nick Aldis said he had some very special opponents for them.
The love of God, let them.
Nick Aldis and Motor City Machine Guns worked in TNA together for a long time.
This could be a really good tag team match if they just let them
give this 15 minutes.
Also, I just want to say, people have really strong opinions about this.
Yeah.
Like if they're AEW fans, like my friends are, they have really strong opinions about this.
Hey, I have a strong opinion about this because I'm a Motor City Machine Guns fan.
Right.
And I want to see them against DIY. I want to see them against the Street Profits, the Creed Brothers, Fraxium.
Playing as Motor City Machine Guns in 2K25 might put me over the edge.
Even the Guerrillas of Destiny. Shane and I were talking about this on the way here. The SmackDown tag division is like the most interesting tag division to me right now, because like Raw and AEW aren't being booked real well, so it kind of brings them down, even though they have a lot of talent. But for SmackDown, we have the Profits, we have DIY, the Girls of Destiny, now the Motor City Machine Guns, Los Garza, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Like, that's a strong 6 tag teams to have. So I'm really excited about that. And it was announced Shinsuke Nakamura will be returning to Pro Wrestling Noah on January 1st, 2025. Any thoughts on who he may be facing, what he may be doing?
I think it was announced. I think it's Koshi Ozaki.
Is it?
That's what I heard.
I didn't see an official announcement. I just saw that he announced he would be there. Other announcements that happened regarding Japanese wrestling, and one was a big return to Japan. The Young Bucks announced they'll officially be at that AEW New Japan CMLL Stardom. Is Rev Pro involved?
I think so.
I don't remember what the 5th one was. Or maybe it's Ring of Honor. It was the 5th logo.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, all those companies are throwing a super show on January 5th, the day after the big Wrestle Kingdom show. And the Young Bucks announced they will be there. If you have the pin, who are they facing? Personally, just for my own entertainment, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, because I just love those guys.
Bishamon, honestly.
Bishamon, or they don't have to just be them. They could be teaming with Okada. And we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Okada's you gotta run Tanahashi Okada one more time.
Well, I was gonna say, we talked a few weeks ago about Tanahashi, Kenny, and Kota versus the Bucks and Okada.
Oh, you're right.
Because a 6-man, you could still get those big moments, but it could cover up a little bit for the wear and tear on Tanahashi. And of course, it would kind of help Kenny Omega getting back into the flow of things since he's been out for so long.
Tanahashi kicking out of the Rainmaker one last time.
And Kota Ibushi seemed to imply that Kenny only has a few months left before he's ready to go.
I think he does, but
this could be the return of Kenny Omega.
I think it is going to be. I don't know if.
Because we jokingly talked about the MXM 3rd man. What if something at Wrestle Kingdom sets up Tanahashi and Kota against the Elite, and they say they have a 3rd guy, and then you get to the Tokyo Dome the next night, and you get a big Kenny Omega return in Japan? I don't know. I think it'd be awesome. Also, Hiroshi Tanahashi, speaking of which, he said he will retire on January 4th, 2026. So next year will be his last year in wrestling.
I'm sure we've
Wrestle Kingdom
already been talking about extensively on this podcast.
Yeah, a lot of Tanahashi talk this week. So yeah, he will officially retire then. Who would you want to see retire him? Like, who would be the best options? Is it Okada? Is it?
Oh, it's not Okada. It's whoever they got. It's whoever their next big guy's going to be.
You wanted to put over like a Yota Tsuji or
because like he's the ace. I mean, you don't have an ace right now because Okada left, so you gotta set somebody up.
Or a Zack Sabre Jr. or a Sonata. I don't know, somebody. I think that'd be good. Now let's talk Bad Blood. So Jolka will officially kind of bring you in here, and let's get on to the show that was Bad Blood from Atlanta, Georgia, State Farm Arena. And we kicked it off with Punk McIntyre. Insane.
Yeah, that was a lot of blood.
Oh, yeah.
The toolbox spot was crazy. This was exactly what Hell in a Cell should be.
Right.
Like, it was 2 guys with a blood feud going in there to kill each other.
Yeah. Poor Drew McIntyre right in the beginning got busted open. Did you see the stitches that he got?
Yeah. But you know what was the worst thing he took? Was when he missed the steel steps. It took the corner of those just like right to the tailbone.
Oh.
Or like right to like the bottom of his spine. Like,
dude,
the worst spot you can hit.
This was
that. Like, I've seen like light tubes busted and hundreds of thumbtacks. That's the most gruesome thing I've seen in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Arguably, this could be like the biggest Hell in a Cell since Bad Blood 97.
See, that's what I was going to ask. Biggest Hell in a Cell since. I think, for me,
If not
this
King of the Ring,
makes
98.
this makes the top 5 Hell in a Cells for me.
It does.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
I think
Meltzer gave it 5.
the first two are or not the first two, but like the Bad Blood 97, the first one's absolutely up there. King of the Ring 98 is in there. Just going in chronological order, not like ordering them by how good they are. The next one would be No Way Out 2000, Cactus Jack and Triple H.
Yep.
The next one for me would be, even though it wasn't in front of fans, the Roman Reigns Jey Uso I Quit Hell in a Cell.
That was a good match.
That one I really, really liked. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. And then this one would be in the top 5.
I agree.
Like that would be the top 5. I don't know how I would order them exactly. I'd have to rewatch some of those, but yeah.
For sure. Definitely top 5 for sure.
I know Cactus Jack and Triple H. That's my favorite.
Dude, that one's so good. That's probably my favorite too.
I was at that show.
Really?
That's why
Yeah.
I'm a little biased.
But yeah. That one
Were you there
was.
because of Bob Backlund by chance?
What's that?
Because Bob Backlund was there? Rumble 2000?
Oh no, I wasn't
this
there
would've
for.
been-
I didn't
Oh,
think he was
before he knew
there,
about Backlash.
Oh.
but I was. I had gotten tickets and just watched it. I was at the top of the cell.
Oh,
that
Okay.
was where my
eye
seat was.
level was top of the cell. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So that was a really strong. I mean, the strongest opener you can have. I give it 5 stars. I think it's nothing,
Oh, absolutely.
nothing less than perfect.
Oh, no, dude. That's the easiest 5-star Hell in a Cell match I've ever given.
Yeah,
Even bigger than Bad Blood to me.
yeah. And then this next match, I did not enjoy. Nia Jax and Bayley.
That was a very disappointing match.
That was one of the matches of all time.
Especially immediately following.
Yeah. It's like the coolest thing possible into just the most boring thing possible.
right.
Like, it was clunky. There were botches, which you're going to get with like any Nia Jax match. It didn't serve a story at all. Like, it was just bad.
Right, and the whatever kind of cash in she was trying to do.
Yeah, the fake cash in I didn't like. I do have a theory though. I guess we can talk about here on the Bad Blood card. Triple H announced that at Crown Jewel, we will get the Crown Jewel Championship, which will be. I don't know what the word for it is, but it's like a not actively defended title. It's kind of like the belts that they get for winning the Owen Hart Cup.
Exactly, like the Andre the Giant trophy.
It's
not
more
like
of a
a-
trophy than it is a title.
It's not like
Exactly.
a real thing.
It's a trophy title, and it's only going to be at Crown Jewel every year. The 2 top champions.
I think they'll make a different title every year. That person will keep the title.
Maybe, yeah.
That's one good-looking belt.
Dude, I have some thoughts. But the 2 top champions in the men's and women's divisions will face each other on the belt. I do really like it. I saw a lot of people giving it some flack. I think a lot of people didn't like it. For me, it gave Lucha Underground vibes.
Yeah.
With that added WWE glitz and glamour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if Lucha Underground could have afforded to cover a belt with diamonds, this is what it would have looked like.
Right.
So I really like it. So this week on SmackDown, Naomi pinned Nia Jax in a non-title match.
Really?
I think before we get to Crown Jewel, Naomi's going to take the title off of Nia Jax.
I hope so.
She's going to hold it for like 2 weeks, and then she's going to lose to Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel, and Tiffany's going to cash in on Naomi. And then we end up with this. Nia Jax wants her title back.
Mm-hmm.
Now Tiffany. So we flip the script. Everybody's been waiting for Tiffany to cash in on Nia, but now it's going to be Nia chasing Tiffany.
Right.
And I think that's the most interesting way they can do this. Because you just, like I said, you flip what people are expecting the breakup to be.
Right.
And unfortunately, Naomi has to be kind of a transitional champion, but she'll get her moment again. She's great. She's going to end up champion again. She can have a good, 4-6 month run with the title, whatever you want later. But this would be a really good way to do that. And it could set up a pretty cool triple threat situation or something like the 4-way maybe with Bayley. Like, yeah, I think it could set up a lot.
If it was a triple threat, like she came in at Crown Jewel, how great would it be if she got both of them knocked out and put one hand on each of them and
Tiffany Stratton just
takes both
taking
titles?
them both out. That'd be really funny. But yeah, I gave the Nia Jax Bayley match from Bad Blood 1.5 stars.
Oh, this doesn't even get a
I
star.
don't even know.
Yeah. Then we had as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing they booked this card almost in like the reverse order I would have done it.
Right.
Next we had Finn Balor and Damian Priest. This was an incredibly whatever match for me.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a Raw main event, like it with the interference finish and just the quality of what they were doing in the ring just didn't feel like they had a blood feud. It didn't feel. It's hard. Okay, if you're gonna have a show centered around blood feuds, and you're putting the bloody, like the physically bloodiest of those blood feuds first, is gonna make everything else look like child's play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything else is gonna look just kind of small in comparison to that Hell in a Cell match. And that's what this did for me. You know what I mean? And
Balor and Priest could have done a better job. It's not like
I know
they had a great match.
That is true. That is true. It is on them as well. They could have done a better job. Triple H could have booked a better finish.
Mm-hmm. With the better show.
It's just, I think to the casual wrestling fan, something like the order of a card, what order the matches go in, probably doesn't matter.
That's something we should do is reorder all the match cards from the pay-per-views.
No, I disagree with that because a good match, even to a casual viewer, that's immediately followed by a bad match. It's like a stinker. They're not going to care.
Yeah, but what I was saying is I don't think a casual fan thinks about the ordering of the card as much as that match was really good. The one after it was bad. They don't think about they should have flipped those for these booking reasons. They think, they should have flipped those because that match was better. I mean, you know what I mean?
What an exciting ending would it have been if we had Hell in a Cell and then Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes match.
Yeah.
Booked last.
And I would have personally put the Hell in a Cell match on last because my thing is like, and I said this, I think I said this about SummerSlam and it ended up kind of being wrong, but like for me, it's way more like the Rock return is way more out of nowhere if it's after the opener.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just want something more surprising. Because I think if they say, all right, we're going to open with this tag match, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, the Rock's not going to come back on the opening match of a B-tier pay-per-view. Like a obviously, still a big show. It's just like it's not Survivor Series, Mania, Rumble, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, whatever, right?
That's why he only took 12 steps. He came out, raised his hand, and left with his non-championship belt.
That's the people's belt, so we all get to a turn with it.
I got thoughts on that later, too. Priest and Balor, I gave it 2.5. That was just an average whatever match.
Yeah, that'd be a 2 for me.
And do you want to give it a rating, Shane? Or
no?
Okay. Next match, we have more Judgment Day chicanery. Rhea Ripley challenging Liv Morgan for the women's title with Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage.
Dominic Mysterio's stupid. He's like, I can't go back. I can't go back.
And him being afraid of heights and it raising was the best part of this match.
I agree.
Was like the first like a minute of Dom in the shark cage.
Yeah.
Other than that, just again, like with the Balor Priest point, I just don't think they wrestled to their max ability.
Right.
And the Raquel Rodriguez thing was obviously screwed up because it seemed like it was supposed to be an interference, but still technically a win for Liv Morgan.
Right.
But because she hit Rhea right in front of the referee, the ref had to call the bell. And Rhea won. And she also just kind of did it in a clunky way, and the way the door just like randomly swung open on the shark cage, and the piñata spot was kind of fun, I guess, but
took away from the match.
It did. It felt like this was, I don't know. It just didn't feel like this was enough about Liv Morgan.
Right. It felt like it was all right. Let's just get through this.
This is Rhea Ripley versus Dominic Mysterio.
Right.
More than it is Rhea versus Liv Morgan. I don't know. I gave it 2.5 as well. I just thought it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of down, just right down the middle, I think.
Yeah.
And then we get the main event: Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. They had a solid match. I gave it 3.25. But what's more important is what happens after the match.
Right.
Which is Jimmy Uso comes in to help with the bloodline business.
That I liked.
That I really liked. I really liked Jimmy Uso's return. I'm a big Usos fan, like of them as a tag team. And Jay's still pretty much kind of that same. Obviously, he's evolved a little bit, but he's still pretty much in the same character mold as like the Uso Penitentiary era Usos.
This is a stupid catchphrase.
That's my favorite like era of Uso. So
right.
I like that. And then The Rock comes out with his You know what really took away from this return for me is his stupid belt.
I know he's just carrying this rock belt around with him for
That means nothing.
Dude, his movie flopped, so to get back in like the public's good graces, he has to be this dumb fucking
But yeah, it just comes off as stupid, and
it comes off that he's mad he's not champion.
yeah, exactly.
He's part owner of TKO, like part owner of the WWE now, so he could just do what he wants. He's like, I'll come in for a spot where I just raise my hand.
Yeah,
and then I'll see you in a month or two.
Maybe Miss Mania.
Yeah,
dog.
Yeah, and now they're saying he might not wrestle at WrestleMania. Like, what the hell's this for then?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I thought he was still going to be on the WrestleMania.
He was
card.
just in town.
There's a rumor that he's not going to be booked on the WrestleMania card.
And this whole past year was dumb.
Exactly.
He's in town. Just happened to be in Atlanta.
I just think that, because he's probably filming some other bad movie. Where he shows up 12 hours late to set and has all these demands like he did with that Chris Evans Christmas movie he was in. Yeah, the Rock stuff earlier this year was really exciting.
Yeah.
But also really stupid. And that's what it seems like we're doing again.
Like,
it's going to be really poorly booked, but it's going to be like really poorly booked, but it's going to be interesting because it's The Rock.
Yeah. I mean, everything he does is interesting because of his past.
Exactly.
But it gets to a point where you're just coming out for your own self, or you really want to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
I just really...
So if I could walk out in front of a crowd and get cheered at any point, I'd do that once or twice a year to boost my ego.
All right. And my thing with the belt, I keep coming back to this because people complain about wrestling companies having too many championships, right? Which can be fair criticism. I think that most of the three companies I pay the most attention to, I think New Japan might have a little bit too many, but it's not a big deal, right? The other ones, they're fine, right? But the argument is that it takes away from these other belts, right? Every mid-card belt you add takes away from the Intercontinental Championship's prestige or whatever, right?
Right.
You know what actually takes away from a title's prestige? Having another top star just walking around with a belt that means nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless he actually defends it this year.
And it's not in a way where when CM Punk came back with his WWE title and John Cena had his WWE title.
Right.
That was kind of something, right? This is nothing. That belt's not going to be defended. Nobody's going to care if it is defended. Because... And even if you wanted to put it on the line, the match is immediately not interesting because The Rock's not going to drop his special Rock belt.
Well, here's my thing. It reminds me so much of I just was playing it again, the My Rise story where The Miz tries to get you out of being the champion by introducing the new big title belt. It reminds me of that. It's some stupid bullshit that only some dumb person would think of that takes away from the big title for no reason.
You know what he's doing? He's doing what he did to the DC movie universe. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. Okay. Go on.
Here we go. We're going to get into some... I have a theory that when they were casting for Man of Steel, the 2013 Superman movie, I think The Rock wanted to be Superman. And some exec at DC had wanted Superman to be a white guy still. So he convinced Rock, you could be Black Adam. This is also this big, powerful character, which he is. He's a really cool character in the comics and all the media I've seen of him. I haven't watched the Black Adam movie on purpose. And over the next decade, The Rock slowly molded the Black Adam movie and changed this and changed that until he was Superman.
Exactly.
He made himself the good guy. He made himself more powerful. He just wanted to be Superman.
Right.
He had that stupid quote where he's like, this is going to change the hierarchy of the DC universe. Because he wanted The Rock to be over Superman. And that's what he's doing here. He wants to be world champion, but they're like, no, you're going to show up 3 times a year. We're not going to let you be world champion.
Right.
The dude got...
So he's like, okay, well, I'll just get my own belt, my own superhero,
right,
my own action figure, and... I'll be this, and I'll be better than the champion. It's like, no, nobody cares.
Right.
And, also the storylines are bad, which applies to the movie and the wrestling.
Yeah.
So...
I'm the final boss.
Exactly.
I'm the final boss.
Exactly.
Even though Roman Reigns hasn't
See,
lost
he's doing
in a year.
exactly. It's like the tribal chief. He's like, well, you can't be the tribal chief. I'll come up with something that's better than the tribal chief.
Right.
I'll be the final boss. He's just used his own ego pushing him above it, and it doesn't matter because it's so forced.
If he was the enforcer, not the final boss, if he was the enforcer, but did the exact same shtick the entire time, like Roman just sat back and watches The Rock beat up Cody Rhodes the entire time, that would have been so much better.
Yeah. And also, like, why this reinforces me not caring about Solo Sikoa also.
Oh, yeah.
Because The Rock is back and immediately is going to be above Solo.
Yeah, I mean, Solo is not that interesting to begin with.
Already, Solo's not interesting. No one respects his authority. And and now The Rock is here, who everyone has loved for 25 to 30 years.
The only reason Solo gets any amount of respect at all is because Jacob Fatu is so on that character of him loving Solo Sikoa. That's the only damn reason.
I just don't.
They would have to get The Rock, because if it was Roman Reigns, the Usos, and The Rock, there's no way you could even believe Solo Sikoa's team would
nobody
win.
cares.
Jacob Fatu could do a solo it.
But yeah, nobody would want to see that. That'd be like the Chiefs playing like the high school football
Right.
state champions. You know what I mean? Yeah, facing like the Kansas high school state champions. Like that's
Right.
what that would be. Is just a bloodbath, and everybody would want the. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't know.
Give Jacob like a bundle of light tubes, and he'll win.
Okay, but yeah, you're just trying to book him back to GCW.
Yes, I am. he was better there.
This just the whole Rock of it all. It's just not good. It's not interesting, and
unless you are Dwayne Johnson, nobody cares.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a vanity project. This is just ego.
He put his stupid logo on every single fucking jersey of his football league.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, and hey, look, it's the Rock's league. It's me, The Rock. This is my thing. You will remember it's my thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's got a humongous ego.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'm wearing his stupid fucking shorts right now because they're comfortable as fuck.
I have a Rock hoodie somewhere because I thought before he came back, I was still a fan of The Rock.
Right.
But now he came back and he's just ruined all of. Because like I came into wrestling at the once in a lifetime, the twice in a lifetime, the Rock Cena,
Still
like
pissed
the
about
passing
that.
of the torch,
Still
right?
pissed about that.
So like The Rock was like this mythical figure to me when I first started watching wrestling. It was like, wow, this is this special guy
Twice in a lifetime
who's going to
is
face
some
our top guy.
horseshit.
You're just mad because you went to one and you didn't go.
You're right.
Oh, man. I started with The Rock back when he was Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
I've seen everything.
So how long until Rocky Die comes back? Realistically.
Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Which hopefully starts soon because, like you were saying, they took everything off Hulu. Now I'm trying to find Raw, and it's like, damn it, Peacock's a month behind.
Yeah, they don't put it out on Peacock until a month later.
Oh God, I have to pay for fucking.
No, what did I see?
Can we go split season on Netflix?
Apparently, they took like some old NXT episodes off Peacock too.
They did.
Yeah, I heard about
all the classic ones they did.
Like the game show era.
No,
or
like network
the
stuff.
Balor,
17, 16, 15. It's off Peacock.
like the McIntyre Undisputed Era, Gargano,
plus takeovers.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Really?
I'm so serious.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, I guess you want to get on to Wrestle Dream.
Might as well. Fuck.
So, I guess before we actually move on, overall, out of 10 rating of Bad Blood.
5.
I think I probably would give it a 4.
I'm gonna do a 4.
Here, let me.
If
4. I think 4 is where.
If it was just the first and last match,
yeah,
even reordered, it might have been better. Show.
Yeah, honestly, a show that is just that first match and that last match is a 10 out of 10.
No, that first match, that last match, cut the Rock part. That's 10.
Yeah,
there was no reason for The Rock to be there.
No.
Yes, there was. He needed a little ego boost,
right?
Yeah.
He brought back the Hollywood Rock theme because he knows people would like that more than his current theme. That piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he's right, because I do love that theme, and I popped for it when it first came out with it.
I'd love to do that with nobody knowing who I am. Just randomly come out at the end of pay-per-views. For
You know what? When you book your shit, if you do book like your own show, we're doing that spot.
right?
The exact spot. Moment for moment. The 1, 2, 3. The Undertaker neck cross move. Yeah.
Get the same outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Just get like a cheap knockoff version of the same move. No, just make it out of like cardboard. And just draw the Brahma Bowl on it. But yeah, all right. You want to get into Wrestle Dream?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So thank you, Jolka, for coming on.
Oh, not a problem. You guys have a good rest of your show.
Yeah. All right. So we kick off with Jay White and Hangman Adam Page. Just want to add "Fuck You, Cowboy" to my list of favorite wrestling chants. Just a good one. What do you think of this match?
I liked it. I mean, but I'm gonna say about my most of the match on the show. So
this had my favorite finish of the night. The buckshot lariat countered into the what does he call that?
Switchblade?
The Blade Runner. That was awesome.
That was really good.
It was a really solid opener, really good match. I give it 3 3/4.
I didn't watch most of Wrestle Dream, so I can't really rate the matches in
Okay.
full. So I can rate like the last match.
Okay. Mariah May, Willow Nightingale. How much of that did you get?
That was really good,
dude. I'm gonna be honest. This might be controversial to say that was my match of the night.
That's fair.
I was 4 3/4. This was an incredible match. I think with a little bit more storytelling, it would have hit that 5 mark for me. That's the only thing that held me back from giving it a 5. But 4 3/4, it was really, really good match. Mariah May wins, retains the women's title. Yeah. So what? I guess as we go through this AEW show, because I think we have a little bit less to talk about here than Bad Blood. What do you think is the future for Jay White and Hangman?
I think they're gonna.
Do you think we get a rematch there?
No,
not immediately.
Not immediately. I think Hangman should just walk into like any person and just beat the ever-loving shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
That should be his character. No thoughts. The descent in the madness continues on.
Mm-hmm.
He just loses more and more of his mind. Jeff Jarrett's next.
Jarrett's next. And then Jay White seemed to imply he does already have a target in mind, but he's not going to say who it is because they don't want them to expect him. And it's someone else who apparently held him back from being world champion. So I don't know who that would be. Would it be MJF who beat him for the world title? But MJF seems to have his own thing going on. I don't know. Like, we'll find out shortly who Jay White's sights are set on next.
Okay.
Mariah May and Willow Nightingale. I think you just continue with this story. Let's run a rematch. Give it to me again at Full Gear.
Yeah.
Let's get hardcore. Let's get hardcore with it.
Let's
false count anywhere.
Actually, let's introduce Mina. I put her in my fucking card. Yeah. Let's put her into this little thing. I want her to be next up.
Okay.
After Full Gear for Wrestle Dynasty.
I think that could be where we go with Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, but I think you could end up with a cool few matches here with Nightingale. Because she's deserved it. She's worked for it. It's been awesome. Jack Perry retains the TNT title over Katsuyori Shibata in a pretty good but ultimately non-consequential match. 3 1/4 for the match. Afterwards, Daniel Garcia comes out and he gets face-to-face with Perry. He is attacked by MJF, who is then thwarted by a returning Adam Cole, baby. Right?
You're a big Cole guy, so
I'm a big Cole head.
About this.
It's all about the boom.
I like how they have swapped it from Cole being the heel to not being the face.
Well, because there's that thing. There's this rule of wrestling where if you are liked by liked by fans at all, and you are gone for a certain amount of time, I don't know what the number is, but a certain amount of time, when you return, you will return as a babyface. People will be excited to see you when you return. So that was the only way to do this, is to twist it. But it's one of those AEW storylines, kind of a thing AEW does pretty well, where the heel's kind of going to have a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That was part of what made Swerve Hangman so compelling. Is that Hangman kind of had a point, right? He went about it the wrong way, and that's what makes him the bad guy. But that's just the mark of a good villain.
Now, you know, there's a point to y'all people who have no feelings. He's in the wrong. Swerve.
Yeah. So that's where we're going. I think this could get interesting because it's kind of like a chain of feuds.
Yeah.
It's like
it really
Cole
is.
wants to feud with MJF, who wants to feud with Daniel Garcia, who wants to feud with Jack Perry. So I don't know where this goes, but it's an interesting situation.
Where you know where it goes? It goes to a four-way.
Four-way at Full Gear?
Four-way at Full Gear, and I think Danny wins.
Danny wins?
Danny
wins, but he doesn't pin Perry. He pins MJF.
Yeah.
Sets up
at World's End.
Danny Perry at World's End.
And
in like a cage.
I don't think either of them are going to. Well, so I think Jack Perry will be at Wrestle Dynasty, but not because of the title with House of Torture.
Okay. Yeah.
In some stupid.
Maybe some just classically New Japan, like 5-way or 4-way. Or not 5-way, like 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 or something.
In his worst match yet because it's House of Torture.
And it's a House of Torture versus Daniel Garcia and friends. Daniel Garcia in the conglomeration.
No, not Mark Briscoe and Ishii. No. I hate my life.
So that was pretty good though. Next match,
I will admit that that Jack Perry has done some pretty good work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's done good stuff.
But my issue with that is he still hasn't sold me on the title this time just yet. I know it's been a little bit, but I think this Danny Garcia type feud, this is what's going to sell me.
Yeah, Perry certainly not the worst TNT champion.
Definitely not. No.
But yeah, I don't think he sold me on it a lot.
Even the Punk stan will admit that Jack Perry. I'll admit, I don't like Jack Perry, but that's just because I haven't bought into him ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
that's fair. I think everybody has those guys where it's just like I just never could buy into them. Undertaker's one of those guys for me. I just never could buy into the Undertaker.
You still like Sting though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do love Sting. Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita, Ricochet.
Oh, dude.
This match, 4.5 stars. And I think the only thing
4.5.
The only thing that held it down was the kind of the Fletcher Don Callis of it all.
Yeah. Okay, so if that didn't happen, this was my match of the night.
Probably, yeah.
I gave this 4 3/4.
Okay.
It's like I would probably I didn't say I gave I would give
that like
below Mariah 5.
2-minute section that's just on the apron and there's like that table there. Dude, was insane.
I've watched so much good wrestling this past week, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, and like this is dude, I keep seeing that clip where Takeshita does like the slam into the German, and then Ricochet comes in and he takes him, and then he just like clotheslines Will Ospreay's head. There were multiple times in this match where I thought Takeshita might have actually killed Will Ospreay.
Well, that's just the thing though. Will Ospreay,
like Takeshita's a beast.
Will Ospreay is able to make you believe that he has killed somebody, a la when he knocked the fuck out of
remember
Kota Ibushi,
or like when his match with Kenny Omega. There were the Forbidden Door one, I think. There were 2 times. There was once where he just like slammed Kenny's head against the announce table so hard, like 8 times.
Right.
And then the Tiger Driver. And it was like, oh my God.
I think that the Tiger Driver of Danielson was more nasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how Danielson sold it.
Mm-hmm. And Ospreay sold the Tiger Driver from Fletcher really well.
Ospreay just makes that look like he died.
Yeah.
That's the trademark of a top 5 wrestler.
And you know what I think is going to happen next? I think Ricochet is going to team up with Ospreay to help him face the Don Callis family.
That's a team I've been clamoring for since 2016.
Yeah.
So.
And then the next match, honestly, the match that I was obviously everyone was most excited for the main event, right? So main event aside, the match that I personally was most excited for, Hologram and Beast Mortos in a 2 or 3 falls match.
You're right.
That delivered.
I have great news for you.
I give it 4 stars.
I have great news for you. I read it. Because there were Fox Sports Mexico, we're getting more lucha matches.
Really?
We're feasting on luchadors over here.
Just put guys in masks in the ring together.
Super Kendo.
Get guys in masks in the ring, and you have me. You've sold that ticket.
Like, I sat down. I watched. It's on our classic review list.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that whole thing. It's supposed to be like 3 episodes.
Festival de Lucha.
I had a fun time.
Mm-hmm. WCW Festival de Lucha is what he's referring to. I was telling you, we also talked about in the car right here that Dynamite's going to be in Kansas City in December. And I said to you, well, I'm going to Raw in Wichita that Monday, 2 days before. Something would have to really sell me to get me to go to Dynamite also, because it's just a long week.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of travel. Hologram doing literally anything is on the list of things that would sell me for that show.
That's fair, because like if Hologram's there,
I'm there.
I'm there too. Like,
Yeah. Love Hologram.
Give me Hologram as another luchador.
Yeah.
Tony Khan.
And I love the idea that like
Tony Khan.
all the other like lucha guys in the company are becoming like part of his rogues gallery. Like Dralistico, Beast Mortos, Roosh. We have whoever El Clone is going to be is down the pipe. I would like maybe Commander to turn heel. Like, I just want him to be the only babyface lucha guy. Like, he's lucha, like he's a superhero, and all the other lucha guys are his bad guys, his weekly villains. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would really like. Anything else on that match? I think it was just a really good match. It was didn't really serve a purpose other than just being a banger match in the middle of the show. Darby Allin versus Big Brody King. Your thoughts on this one?
Oh, dude, that spot where he stands on the stairs. Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Oh, my God. When he's standing on the stairs and, like, crushing Darby's esophagus.
That
is something only Darby Allin or Ilya Dragunov would put themselves
Brody, get in the studio right now. Make a single, make something. Give me that as an album cover, please.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It was a gruesome match. But ultimately, I only gave it 3.5. I thought it was pretty good. It was a really solid match. It just didn't grab me in a lot of ways. There were just a few awesome spots. And I think that's fine. That's a great match. 3.5 is a good rating. So we'll give it that. What would you give it? Like 8 out of 5?
like a 307. No, an 818 out of 5. Shout to the Valley. No, I give it like a 4.
Like a 4, yeah. Next match, Young Bucks Private Party for the AEW Tag Team titles.
This was the best Young Bucks. Honestly, the Elite's kind of getting me back on their side. This was the best. This is their best performances in a while.
Really, I thought it was maybe slightly better, but
just because it was Private Party. Just because
I'm proud to see. What did I give the Bucks match? Slightly behind. I think I rated it slight. I gave it 3.5, which is slightly behind the Claudio Wheeler match. And then what did they do it all in? Oh, FTR and the Acclaim. Star match. So I've been much more in on the Bucks this whole time than you have.
Right.
So this is about on par with what I've been doing, if not a little lower.
I think it was just a breath of fresh air in the tag division. So I think that was part of it too.
Yeah. I completely just forgot to continue with our future of. We'll go through the rest of the card after we do the card. The future of everybody in AEW.
Right.
Mark Briscoe, Chris Jericho. I did not like this match. I gave it 2 stars, and pretty much all 2 of that goes to Briscoe and Big Bill. I can't
believe they took the fucking title off of Mark Briscoe.
Oh, they did. Mark Briscoe won.
Oh, wait, okay. I thought I saw a thing of Chris. Sorry, I thought I saw a picture of Chris Jericho winning the belt.
Mm-hmm. It might have just been someone trolling
with
the
Mark Briscoe.
The time he did win the belt.
Mark Briscoe should never ever lose the belt.
Yeah.
That belt, until Ring of Honor was a serious thing again, I don't care enough. That's Mark Briscoe's belt.
Yeah.
Everything the Briscoes stand for, which, by the way, a little bit of a tangent. Did you know the Briscoes supposed to be in the Wyatt family when they first debuted?
They were going to be in the...
Luke Harper, Briscoes, Bray Wyatt.
Really? But they couldn't get the Briscoes?
Dude, they told him to act like silent, not be the Briscoes.
Okay.
They said no.
That's fair.
If you see their fantastic promo on their W tryout, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So yeah, but that match I gave it 2 stars. I just didn't really like it.
No, I didn't like it either.
Definitely not the worst thing I've seen.
But I also didn't watch this match because it was Jericho. So
yeah. And then, somewhere on this card we did have some Swerve MVP Shelton Benjamin shenanigans that went on. Nothing big came out of it. It was mostly just to get Swerve on the Washington pay-per-view.
It was supposed to be Lashley, but we'll get to why.
Could they not get the deal worked out?
No,
in time,
they did. He's it's reported he's with AEW.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. MJF, Adam Cole, Mox, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Nobody would care.
There's already 2. Fletcher and Yuta are turning.
It's too
many angles.
Too many angles that are bigger than this.
Yeah. Okay.
No offense to Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. And of course, like Hologram and Beast Mortos just would run that out of the water, dude. Okay, but Moxley, Danielson.
I'm okay
for the AEW title, and if Danielson loses, which he did, his in-ring career or his full-time career comes to an end. So this is the end of full-time Danielson.
I didn't like the finish of the match, but I totally that totally went out of the water after the angle.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so of course Wheeler, Claudio and Pat get involved afterwards,
right?
And they're beating down Danielson. Wheeler comes out, he takes the bag, and then he.
Well, no, first he attacks Darby.
Darby, yeah, because Darby comes down to his aid.
Darby and Yuta come to his aid.
Yeah, and then he attacks Darby, and then he puts the bag over Danielson's head. Does the whole thing. Danielson's to be stretchered out. All the baby faces run out.
All the people run out, and they're just like in mourning. Even Nigel McGuinness is like in shock.
Well, yeah, because
which is if Nigel McGuinness is not rubbing his hands that his least human on this earth is about to be murdered, shit.
Well, what is the Joker without his Batman?
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
That's
you're right.
Really where it is. He just lost his great rival. You know what I mean? Like it's in kind of big deal. But yeah, my only criticism of the match is I thought Marina Shafir got too involved.
I agree.
I liked her ripping up the mats, but then her actually interfering in the match I didn't like.
I think one time. I think she interfered the one time and got kicked out. I like that.
Yeah. And then my other criticism is of the angle after. I think the baby faces, like not just Wheeler and Darby, that was fine. But like when Cole and Private Party and Jeff Jarrett and all the other Cassidy and Hook, I think they should have ran out like a minute and a half sooner.
Jeff Jarrett running out makes sense because of his position, and just because
I just think if you're gonna do the babyface locker room clearing, I think it should have been like a minute or two sooner. I think it went a little too long without that happening.
Yeah, but my criticism is of the finish. I didn't like the match finish. I thought it was
the choke out.
It was. I know it's Bryan Danielson. He's a sicko, but it felt too sudden. I think it should have been a Dirty Deeds 1, 2, 3.
That's fair.
Then at the end, Mox calls him in and beats the shit out of him.
Yeah,
but you know what? It's Bryan Danielson, and then he's a sicko.
My thing is, I know Danielson picked Moxley, but also like Moxley's your ace. I'm never gonna be mad if Moxley's champion.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I guess I don't even know, but like for a long time, it was never a bad idea to put the IWGP title on Tanahashi, right? Like it was,
or in Okada. Yeah,
it was never a bad idea to throw a world title on Randy Orton. Like it was always a good idea, just throw it on that kind of dude, right? And Moxley is there for me. This is the third AEW pay-per-view in a row that elicited like a real emotional reaction out of me at the end.
It's the third. It's the second. It's the second in a row where
that ended with an attempted murder.
Yes. I like the direction they're going.
But there's those parallels, but there's also the parallels to All In because it was Danielson. It was the career on the line, and like this means something to me. You know what I mean? Like I started watching wrestling in 2012. I had my favorites. I had my baby faces. I love Ray. I love Cena. Those kind of guys. But wrestling didn't have a hero to me. It didn't have a protagonist. until Daniel Bryan stepped up. And he goes on that run from SummerSlam 2013 to WrestleMania 30 where, like, he's my first wrestling hero. You know what I mean? Like, he's the first protagonist of wrestling for me. So to see him now 10 years later, 10 years after WrestleMania 30, to see the end of his in-ring career, especially because
this is kind of like when Edge retired.
Mm-hmm.
No,
well,
that was more sudden, I guess.
Well, and it's like I remember watching SmackDown when Daniel Bryan did his retirement speech. Or was it Raw? No, I think it was SmackDown.
It was SmackDown.
Yeah, I remember watching SmackDown when he does his retirement speech and just thinking that this guy that was so special to me, that was this first like great thing I got to see in wrestling, was done, was really sad, and I was really that sucked. And then he comes back to WWE and eventually to AEW, and this has been just such a special run. Like, it's not lost on me that this was almost over so many years ago, and that we were really lucky to get what we got. And so just for Danielson to go out there and do what he did and put his body on the line the way he did was just so special, and to see it over really sucks. And now we don't know what the future holds for Bryan Danielson, other than he's going to get at least some time off and some surgery moving forward. You want to just go through, do you have any thoughts on Danielson before we move on?
No, because I've already seen him retire, so, and just because his body was falling apart.
It was definitely the right time.
My favorite guys of all time right now are like the Four Pillars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see another Masao happen, you know. That's my one biggest fear is another Masao type thing happening where a guy takes a bump, and just the history of him taking bumps to that area, to like the specific area, like the neck and the back, that just goes against him, and all of a sudden he's just gone in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think this was the right time in front of his like home area. I think that, you know, his body's going against him. It's gone. His body's gone. He has to get neck surgery right now. And as soon as I read about neck surgery, I'm so glad he's not wrestling anymore, because, you know, that fear is in me.
Mm-hmm.
But
he will come back.
He will.
He will be back.
You cannot hold Terry. He's gonna probably be like new Terry Funk. He'll take. I'm gonna say he takes like 6 months off, and it'll show up in Defy for out of all places, because why not?
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the future of everybody. So we already kind of did it up to Jack Perry.
Right.
Shibata is just a wild card. He can do whatever he wants.
Shibata. I mean, honestly, Shibata. I'm fine with anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Actually, you know what I would want? I want Mark Briscoe and Shibata. That'd be fun. Like face on face.
Interconglomeration, yeah.
Just a fun little beat crap each other match for morale improvements. No, I'm not. Let's run it back. Give me Ishii Shibata one more time.
Yeah. Shibata Okada.
Oh.
We kind of talked about Will Ospreay and Ricochet, hoping that they kind of team up together
Right.
and face on Kyle's family. Mortos and Hologram, we kind of talked about continuing
give
Hologram
me any lucha thing, man.
as this like superhero type situation. What do you think is next for Brody King / the House of Black and for Darby Allin?
I think a trios run, I think, kind of would make sense for me. It's been a little bit. Also, I think actually a tag run with the House of Black and more, because they never had the tag titles. I think that, but also God's Hate's getting booked for concerts again, so
Brody might be in and out for a little bit.
Be out for a little bit.
Darby, I saw someone draw the parallel that like he's set up perfectly to be the Sting.
Oh, Darby's definitely getting
Moxley's Hogan.
Yeah.
to their NWO.
I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think Darby's gonna.
Well, I think it'll be better, obviously.
Hey, that feud is perfect. It is money until Starrcade 97.
Mm-hmm.
I think Darby's going to wrestle more than Cena during that feud, though.
Yeah, we're not going to see Darby in the rafters until All In.
but I would actually, if that does happen, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
his face paint slowly creeps to the other side of his face as the year goes on.
Oh, that would be really cool. Young Bucks and Private Party. What's next for the tag team division as a whole, I guess?
I think the Bucks are gonna hold it.
They seem to be setting up Top Flight a little bit more.
Yeah,
propping up Top Flight.
I think the Bucks are gonna hold it until it's a dynasty.
I think. What if Top Flight end up taking the Stokely offer that Private Party's rejecting and kind of turn heel?
You give me Stokely, I'm here. I'm there. You give me Stokely, I'm there.
Because we've already been seeing like Action Andretti's been getting kind of short tempered for.
You know what? No. What if Top Flight? Still, if like the Martin brothers say no, but Action Andretti
and Leo Rush
cost them the titles.
Ooh, it'd be interesting.
I'd like that.
But for Private Party, I think just a continued run at the top of the tag division and just try to get back to this spot.
Maybe if they don't keep it till this dynasty, a rematch at World's End.
Mm-hmm. What's next for Mark Briscoe and Chris Jericho? I mean, this feud's just going to continue until Double or Nothing, right?
I hope not.
Unfortunately, it's gonna. This is a Chris Jericho feud. It's not over this short. This is not the end of this feud.
It makes sense because Jericho got really personal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it should be short. It should end the next pay-per-view.
It's going to at least go to Final Battle.
When Mark Briscoe at Final Battle,
a fight without honor at Final Battle.
Fight without honor. Mark Briscoe throws it back. We're getting like
he does what?
Mark Briscoe throws it back on Jericho, and Jericho taps out to this because he can't handle it. No, I think Mark Briscoe takes us back to when ROH closed down, and they barnstormed for that year. They were my favorite tag team in 2022. I think they barnstormed, and they were vicious. They were violent. I saw them wrestle one time in my life. And they were not in the ring for more than 5 minutes in a 20-minute match.
Nice.
I think we're gonna get like that. I think Chris will say the wrong thing about Jay, and it'll bring the vicious Mark Briscoe back. And it's not chicken hunting anymore. It's no chicken farmer Mark Briscoe. He's gonna destroy Jericho Final Battle.
Yeah. What do you think is the immediate future for Jon Moxley? Is it right into Darby Allin?
No.
Who do you think steps up first?
I really want it to be like Sting Hogan, where they don't fight each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Jay White next?
No. OC.
Orange Cassidy?
OC.
He's got history, Mox. They main evented it all out last year.
Or the way that they're booking Jeff Jarrett, it feels like he's going to be the next one up.
That would be really interesting.
Because
I did see
because when people were running out, when people were running out to try to save Danielson, who was first? Darby, so he's going to be the one in waiting, but it was Jarrett after that.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me find it. Somebody drew a parallel that I really liked. It was Lucy's Just Lucy on Twitter. She pointed out there was that banner that AEW had for All Out that showed Jericho next to Moxley, next to Kenny, next to Hangman, and that was like the order of the next world champions. And then a screenshot of that was the order of the first four world champions. A screenshot of Hook, Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin in that order. So what if like that's another kind of premeditated, like it's going to be Darby gets the world title next to Orange Cassidy to Daniel Garcia to Hook.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. I don't know. Just an idea that I liked. And then Danielson. He's in this really unique situation. He is not under contract. He was on a handshake deal after, I think his deal ended in like just before, like the week before All In.
Yeah, I mean, he was gonna. I mean, first of all, it's crazy loyalty to give the man a world title on a contract.
Yeah,
but
you trust Danielson.
I mean, no, of course, yeah. He's not gonna do that.
He seems like a great guy by all accounts.
He's gonna take.
But you know what he could continue to do is like, what if he just does like little one match contracts Or like, I'll do, like he could hop around the world. He could say, all right, New Japan, I'll do Wrestle Kingdom 2026 or whatever, because I don't think he'll be cleared for this year, for 2025. But I'll do Wrestle Kingdom 2026, and my deal, I'll sign a contract saying I'll wrestle a singles match at that show, and I will wrestle 2 6-mans to build to it. Or maybe he goes to Triple H. He's like, hey, I want to wrestle Gunther, so give me Gunther at SummerSlam. I will make 4 televised appearances ahead of it, and I'll do the one match, and then my contract's over. You know what I mean?
I don't see him going back to WWE.
I just mean, like, if he's like, I really want to wrestle Gunther, he could go do
I guess you're right, yeah.
If he's like, I really want to wrestle Carmelo Hayes, he could go do it. If he decides he really wants to wrestle Yota Tsuji, or really wants to wrestle Mystico, or if he really wants to wrestle Josh Alexander and go to TNA, like, he has all these options open.
I think
Go back to, he could go to WWE and he could go get inducted in the Hall of Fame.
for Daniel Bryan, I think for Bryan Danielson, I think I have to wait 6 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm. He could at least go be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes,
Daniel Bryan in the Hall of Fame.
Or like be the first entrant to the AEW Hall of Fame.
That would be. I think you do have a good 3-man class now.
Sting,
Brody,
and
Danielson. A good 3-man class to start it if you wanted to do that.
And hopefully not just Luchasaurus. Hopefully not
Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus isn't it. We didn't talk about it because we didn't do a pod last week. But yes, he's in a scary health situation. And honestly, if he wasn't currently under WWE contract, Cody Rhodes would be in that too.
I think he will be eventually.
He will be in there eventually. We could do that sometime. Who will be in the AEW Hall of Fame eventually?
Right.
But yeah. So I think there's a really exciting possibility for Danielson, and anything can happen in pro wrestling. It'll be exciting to see what he does. I also think it would be fun if he started booking an indie company. Like if he helped book Defy,
I can see him doing that, like helping Defy, or
something that's not going to take up a lot of his time. He can stay in Washington with his family, and just once a month on a Saturday night, he's booking a wrestling show. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would be really fun. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future takes for us. Danielson's career is not over. This is not the end. This isn't like Sting earlier this year. It's not like what Cena's going to do next year and Tanahashi the year after that. It is, this is just the end of his full-time run, and that's still kind of heartbreaking to see.
Yeah,
but eventually, everybody's favorite stop. Everybody slows down. You know what I mean? Eventually, Punk is gonna stop. Eventually, Ray is gonna stop. It's just what it is. So, on to our favorite things. Or no. We do have a new segment. I almost forgot.
That's right. Yes, you almost skipped right over it.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
So, tie together the light tubes and take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW corner. Take it away, Shane.
I love that intro. Keep it up. So, I thought when you introduce this, I got really back in the GCW this past weekend, and we're going to see Gateway to the Left 2 in St. Louis next month. So I thought, let's talk about some GCW every week, because every week there's some news or they're doing a show. So for an introduction to you normies out there who are not wrestling sickos, GCW is Game Changer Wrestling. They're the biggest indie right now. Mm-hmm. And they have that ECW type feel. They're the last outlaws. That's what they call themselves. Stuff like that. And then, but they ran 2 events this weekend. It is called Fight Club Day 1, Day 2. Day 1 was a lot better than Day 2. But that's because it's War Games, so of course it is. We're gonna start, and I'm gonna say that the current champions right now are Mance Warner is your world title, and Violence Forever is your tag team title. And I'll get to the last one, the next one later.
Oh, you'll get to the rest of them?
Yeah,
okay.
because it's in the show. So first of all, Violence Forever have been the tag titles for almost a year.
This is unrelated, but did you see they're going to face, or did they face FTR? Yeah,
they're a huge indie team. So, but they're the current tag title team. They have been for almost a year, and they have a clear path to it. It's that they get past next week. There's no way.
Yeah.
Ciclope just broke up with Medio Extremo. They were a pretty fun tag team in Los Mazicos, but now they're broken up.
Can I just mention
trend
that Violence is Forever wrestled Ruckus, formerly of Ring of Honor, and a guy named Grim Reefer?
Oh, yeah, dude, Grim Reefer rules.
That's awesome.
Ruckus is still going. This is incredible. And
Continue with the
Grim
corner.
Reaper.
I'm just looking at the card. And
If you haven't seen Grim Reaper wrestle, he does a spot where he does a moonsault, joint in mouth smoking.
God, awesome.
Rules. That's how you'll see GW.
All right, back to your corner.
So Sleekope, he won a hardcore scramble match. If you haven't seen a scramble match, it is the highlight of GW. It is 6 people in there, and it's kind of trade off doing spots.
Yeah, it's a spot fest.
It's fun. He wins it. Everyone contender title. He'll face Mance Warner on Saturday in LA, and then Masha has some shenanigans in this show against Kerry Morton. He can help himself. He gets disqualified.
Continue.
He gets disqualified, and it goes on to the next day. Let's get to the War Games match here. First of all, shout out to Matthew Justice for taking an insane bump. Jimmy Lloyd hits him with a barbed wire exploding bat on top of the scaffolding, and he falls into like 4 tables.
Wow.
It ruled. Bully Ray was the secret man for Team Deathmatch Royalty. And Team Deathmatch Royalty shocked the world when they won against Team GCW when Alley Catch turned on Effie and broke my roommate's actual heart. I'm being so serious. Bussy is dead.
No.
My poor roommate.
Yeah.
Met them in 2022. And he was in tears.
Yeah, that's
so odd. Yeah, that it was shocking. I didn't see it coming at all. And my big question here is, where do we go from here in GCW? Because Ali Effie is going to happen. But I don't know.
Don't they have a big New York show coming up soon?
Yes,
that's after we go, right?
Yeah, that's the weekend after we go.
Okay.
So that's probably what's going to happen, or the blow-up will happen at least. Then day 2, Alley Catch does explain herself in a promo, and this actually it's divided the fan base into Team Alley Catch, Team Effie. I'll give you the gist.
Oh, okay.
So Alley was out for a month.
Okay.
And she claims that Effie, she cared Effie all the time. Make sure he was okay whenever he got hurt. She says that Effie never reached out to her.
No.
So she's
Effie a bad friend?
Effie only cares about Effie. So I think at some point we're gonna be Team Alley, Team Effie.
I'm Team Effie all the way.
The CS man. My roommate, Effie was the first wrestler I got back into wrestling after their parents were a piece of shit. But he understands where Allie's coming from. So I don't know. And then the other thing I was interested in day 2 was that Kerry Morton interfered in Masha's match for the title. It became a handicap match. And then Megan Bain came out right after that and became a tag team match. The card's really weird for that day.
Yeah.
And finally, upcoming, we got stuff in LA and Colorado this weekend. LA is kind of fun. It's going to have Cyclope versus Mance Warner, Jack Evans against Sidney Akeem, who's filming those strips. And as you said, I believe it has Scorpio Sky.
Yep, Scorpio Sky is going to be there. I saw that online.
And then after that, they go Halloween and Hawaii.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
That's all I have for my corner. The doors are back on.
All
right. Okay.
All right. In 5, 4, 3. All right, so that's it for Shane's GCW corner. On to our favorite things of the week. So, of course, if you are new here, this is where we give out our gold, silver, and bronze awards. I give out the gold, silver, bronze hot dog. Shane will give out the gold, silver, and bronze handshake. Shane, let's start off as we always do with the bronze handshake.
So this is tough because they have Wrestle Dream and Bad Blood to do. I want to give this
and Sammy and Gunther had an awesome match.
That's right. You're right. So I'm gonna give this to Ospreay, Ricochet, and Kateshka.
Yes, that is also my bronze hot dog.
We may share all three in here, so.
Okay. What is the silver handshake?
It's going to be Willow against Mariah May.
Yep.
So I think I know what your goal is.
Think we shared. Yep. May and Willow is my silver, and then the gold. Tonka Drew. Yep. We did the exact same thing.
How many times it's very rare for us.
Handful of times, I think we've done that in a whole bunch of episodes. So yeah, occasionally we're just on the same page. Moving on to the lightning round. So this is where I will tell Shane which matches we're getting this week. Kind of light on the announced match load, but he'll tell me how excited he is on a scale of 1 to 10. Starting with Raw, we have the War Raiders versus Otis and Akira Tozawa. They are back to being the War Raiders, by the way. Out of 10, how excited are you for that?
Well, 9 if you said about the War Raiders.
Yeah. R-Truth versus The Miz. This will be at least a little goofy.
It will. You know what? I think we're going to see a spot where R-Truth tags Miz in. So, I'm saying 8.
Yeah, the R-Truth shenanigans really brings this up. Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
A 5.
Can they coexist, Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton?
Who cares?
Kofi Kingston versus Braun Breaker.
An 8.
It's pretty exciting. It's sort of maybe my title entertainer of the week. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending the titles against Io Sky and Kairi Sane.
A 7.
Yeah. All right. And then on Dynamite, we have Mercedes Moné versus Queen Aminata for the TBS title.
6.
And on SmackDown, we have Los Garza against an unnamed opponent, but it seemed to have been heavily applied that will be the Motor City.
I mean, it said in the preview it says MCMG. So come on.
Yeah, so
10.
Okay, if it's Motor City Machine Guns, it's definitely a 10.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. If
it's not a fat 0.
Considering assuming that is the Motor City Machine Guns, I will give that a 10. If it is not the Motor City Machine Guns, then my 10 of the week goes to Kingston and Breaker, I think. Match recommendation of the week. Since we saw the end of Bryan Danielson's full-time career, I'm going to shout out an underrated match that I really enjoy, kind of a hidden gem. Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell 2013. It's a really fun cell match.
I like
it's
that.
Nowhere near the top 5 like we talked about earlier, but it's just a really fun cell match. They have a great match. One of those matches that would have been great without the cell. You know what I mean? And then just the cell added a little bit to it. So that's mine. If you want to see some classic reviews, Bad Blood 97 is up. By the time this is out, our Wrestling World review should be out as well.
Well, are we scrapping that?
Oh, that's right, because there was a technical issue. Sorry, we were going to do Wrestling World 96, but there was a technical issue.
I had a great edit going along, too.
Yeah. And then, so our next one will be Noah Destiny. Will come
Great
out this
show.
week.
Great show.
From 2005. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you again to Soundpeak for having us. Thank you to Shane and Jolka for hopping on the pod with me. And most of all, just remember to enjoy wrestling.